Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I am glad you're here this morning. Got a great show lined up, a special guest in the studio, and all kind of information for you. But first, our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin Road and Highway 77. Everybody check out all the programs they have there. Today's high is going to be 87 and low 73. Water temperature is in great shape at 84 degrees. It's really good and clear. St. Joe Bay, West Bay, all the bays are really nice and clear right now. Now take a look at our river readings. The Apalachicola, the big river, is in good shape. It's reading right at a 2.3 this morning and dropping on out. If you want to get it down closer to between 1 and 2 foot, it's going to be happening this weekend, looks like. Okay, the Choctawhatchee at Caryville is reading a 5.6, a 5.7 to be exact, and it's going to stay that way on through the weekend. May have a slight drop on it Saturday morning. If you plan on going to the Choctawhatchee River on Saturday morning, it's going to be in great shape also. So really good. Now the tide chart here on the screen there, brought to us by Ken Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery, and these tide charts are down at C&G Sporting Goods if you want to just keep one by your boat. But today's the 16th of July, and we're looking at a high tide at 1:01 p.m. and a low tide at 9:21. Now we're getting in to get some neap tides. The next 3 days, 17th, 18th, 19th, to be some neap tides. But today, still some pretty good tides. Okay, our marine forecast is coming out of northwest at about 5 to 10 today. All right, takes care of our weather. Let's take our break and be right back. All right, welcome back, and good morning, Ronnie Groom.
Good morning, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing great. We got all kind of stuff, and Ronnie and I have much fun off air we do on there, talking about all these things and all. But
all our toys.
All our toys. Something every outdoorsman got to have. So, Ronnie, first of all, you having a good summer so far?
Good summer, yes. Business has been good, and fishing's been good, and people now start getting ready to go hunting.
Now, did a lot of your customers catch them red snapper?
Yes. Red snapper has been very good.
Been very good. Great reports. We've had great pictures, and you say your grouper.
Grouper been good. I had a grandson that caught a 15-pound red snapper the other day. That's a big red snapper.
That is big.
Very good eating too.
Yeah. So we've been having a lot of fish. So now you brought all kind of stuff to show the folks. So
I got lights. You know, I'm sort of a freak about lights. I really believe in having a lot of lights. I keep lights in my four-wheeler in a container there, and I keep them in my truck. Always got a light. I just really like to have. I got it one side of my bed, that's charging all the time.
If you remember as kids, we all were scared of the dark. I realize that's why we attached to flashlights and all, really.
Yeah, if I'm going in the woods in the morning, I need a little light.
Mm-hmm.
And you need so many different type lights, and we carry so many. And I brought a few here this morning to show the people. And start out with this light right here. This is a bore light. This is what you use to check the bore of your gun with. You turn it on and look down the bore, make sure it's clean, no obstacles in there. And it's just something you need to have if you do a lot of shooting.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
And this right here is a varmint hunting light. This thing you can see fits on top of your scope, and it gives you a light to shoot by, and it shines out to 100 yards. And
wow.
If you're a varmint hunter, you need a good light. And this is a varmint hunting light. It's made by Primos, which is a very well-known company. And if you're a varmint hunter, that would be.
And now that's rechargeable?
It's rechargeable. Just hook it up and recharge it.
And it'll go out how far?
100 yards. To shoot 100 yards, you can shoot 100 yards with it at night.
Wow.
And we got a lot of varmint hunters now.
Yeah.
And here, this is a 2 million power candle power light. Let me get it right.
2 million. Yeah.
There we go.
12 volts.
This is another rechargeable light, and they make so many lights. This is just a basic type, just a very strong light. Now, this is the old standby right here.
And they're still making them.
They're still making this light. It takes a 6-volt battery. And it's just got a little switch on the top.
That's one of our first ones. I mean, everybody had one of those.
Everybody's got one. This is just buy you a bed or pick up to go outside in the garage or something.
That was always the back of my pickup truck.
That's right.
You can knock it around and all. It was always sturdy.
Now they make so many versions of that light. Now this is a little light that's very similar, just got a little handle on it, and it's camouflaged and it's easy to use. Got good beam on it.
Okay.
And here's the basic little light right here. This is a little Surefire. If you're familiar with Surefire, this is very high quality light right here. These they make them for pilots, for the FBI and everybody else, you know, and it's just a high quality light. It's waterproof.
Yeah.
And they make them in all different sizes.
And you were telling me, Ronnie, that they make these for the military, so obviously they're really strong.
This is a high quality, high quality light here. Push it in the back or screw the front in.
Yeah.
You go. You turn it
That-
on or
that's
blink
nice.
it or do whatever you want.
That's so handy. I like that too.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good little light. Now, in a less expensive version, Browning and everybody else makes one like this. Same basic light, but it's they make them in camouflage and about anything you want in these, and they're very good lights. And you can stick them in your jacket pocket if you're fishing or hunting. Carry them with you, and you'd be surprised how much light a little light will put out if you're in a cold dark.
Uh-huh.
Now this is another one of the little basic lights right here, but this is a very small one. You could put this on your keychain.
Yes.
In fact, it's made to put on a keychain. You come in at night and want to put the key in the lock, you got this little light, and it's really handy. And along that same line, here's another one for a keychain. This is a little light, and the good thing about this thing is, when you turn it on, it's got a lot of light.
Oh yeah.
And we got a lot of bow hunters will take this little light and put this piece above their sight and turn it on, and it shines down. A lot of your sights will glow, but you got to have light to get them started.
Okay.
And they put this up and they turn it on there, and it'll get your sight to burning where it's putting out some light in. That's just a handy thing.
That's a great idea.
There's so many different things you can use all these lights for. And there's so many of the ones that fit up on your head, fit on your cap. You can just fit them on your cap, or you can stick them on your pocket. This is one that Browning makes, and just about everybody makes one of these now, and they come in all sizes. Here's a miniature version of that same light.
How about that?
Just really small. You hardly even know it's on your cap. But if you're at late in the evening tying a fly on a fly rod or something, you got a light to put down there.
That's the Duck Dynasty boys.
Duck Dynasty boys, they're still going strong.
All right.
And here's an item we got that's sort of unique. This is a cap, a knife, and a light.
The whole package.
You got the whole package there. All comes together, and it's I think $24, something like that. You get the whole thing: a good pocket knife, a good light, and a cap. So that's another good item. They make so many different kind of lights.
Yeah.
And we carry a lot of batteries, especially for you guys with the game cameras. We carry these little battery packs like this that you can fix your game camera up. We also carry the cards and everything that you need for game cameras. And right now, it's time to put those cameras out, kind of find out what you got going.
And you need to keep an extra set of batteries in your truck.
Oh yeah,
You just got to,
I carry all kind of batteries.
Yeah.
'Cause this last item is not a light, but I was looking at it this morning when I got in the truck, and I thought this is such a handy item. It's a whistle, just a basic whistle.
Yeah.
And if you got a youngster or even an adult, if you're down in the river swamp fishing and you get lost, you can't holler but so long.
Yeah.
You're going to lose your voice. But this whistle, you can start blowing that thing. Or if you're going to school at night or something and you're walking down some dark streets or something, this is a handy thing. You start blowing that whistle, and if somebody's around you that shouldn't be, they're going to leave.
Yeah.
So that's just a good idea, and I just recommend.
I've always thought a best testimony for a whistle, in physical education, where sometimes in the gym we've got 200-something kids in there hollering and screaming, and all of a sudden you blow that whistle,
you can get their attention.
And,
especially for a youngster.
Yeah.
For a youngster, particularly if he's hunting and make a little bit distance from you, you make sure he's got that whistle blowing.
That is a good idea.
Yeah, I really think that's
I like that. All right, let's take this break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. It's Ronnie Groom and talking about all kind of stuff. I don't know, we need an hour or so, Ronnie, when you come on. We were talking about all kind of different things to do in the woods right now. And the next segment, though, we're going to show you the new book that's coming out. It's got Ronnie in it. But let's talk about the woods and the water. You just did some fly fishing. Did good.
Yeah, we went down to the river. Paul Thrasher and I and Gene Cooper and I went down there, and we caught, I like to fish with a beetle spin. I used to fish with all these big fish offshore, but now I've gotten to where I got my boat and all set up for fresh water, and I just love to beetle spin, fly fish a little, even fish with a cricket. I just got to where I really enjoy that.
Yep. I don't know if y'all noticed right behind me now, we got the red snapper season over, so you see what's behind us right now.
Big
so,
brim.
Yeah, we got the brims going. So now, talking about the woods and all, about getting everything ready. I know this is middle of July, and you said you had your truck in the shop. I mean, to get it washed, and what happened to it?
Yeah, the truck man called me up and he said, we're fixing your truck, changing oil and everything. He said, but you need an air filter. I said, do I really need one? He said, man, it's got sticks in it. He said, I've never seen one any worse. I said, yeah, you better change that.
Well, that's a sign that you've been outdoors checking everything. But
because of all this rain, the weeds are just tremendous out there. So you need to wash it and make sure your radiator stays clean and everything. You'll get in trouble.
So are you getting ready? Are you clearing any fields yet, or just you a little bit early for that?
Not yet. We're getting ready to start bush hogging a little bit, and the roads and the little old food plots. And it's time to get out there. It's time to get your game cameras out, start seeing what's happening. And some people have already started putting out their feeders and putting up stands and getting things ready, because we're about 2.5 months out from bow season, and it's time to get out there. We better get it going.
That's true. And one thing I mentioned too, you want to watch out. A lot of people are taking the stands now. You sort of fixing them up and moving to another location, and you got to keep an eye out for wasp nests. That's
right. Watch out for wasps, and watch out for poisonous snakes.
Yeah.
And don't go in the woods by yourself. Go with somebody.
That's true.
Invite somebody to go with you. If you got, I love for my grandkids or kids to go with me, or my buddies, and go out. And if you're putting up a tree stand, that can be a hazardous thing.
Yeah.
If you're not careful. I have a friend that fell and broke his back. He was right by himself, but luckily he was on the phone with his son at the time, and his son came, and they had to get a helicopter in there and get him out. So, don't be putting up tree stands by yourself. It's just so easy, and just be careful. Be careful. Don't climb a magnolia tree or something like that. It's got fragile limbs on it. You'll be in trouble.
Well, talking about wasp nests, just yesterday afternoon, Walter, my son-in-law, was up in Calhoun County. They were moving the stands. He had a couple of kids with him, and he knew to look for wasp nests. He looked all in the corners and all where he thought they were going to be, and then he didn't see any. So when he moved it, the wasp nest was in the front of the stand. And he looked there, and those wasps he got stung, I think, 5 or 6 times.
Those things will hurt you.
I know it.
It could be really, really serious too.
Yeah.
I know my son is allergic to stings like that. And so you really need to be careful. And if you are allergic to them, you got a kit or something you're supposed to have with you.
Yeah.
You be sure you got it. And keep your eyes and ears open. I just love to be in the woods, but you got to be alert. You got to know what's going on around you, and on the ground and in the trees, and just be careful. And well, it's the same thing's true downtown. When you cross the street or step off a curb, you better be careful.
Yeah, those kind of human animals scare me more than
those
snakes.
It's not just in the woods.
Yeah,
it's everywhere.
We're going to take a quick break because I want to take the next segment. It'll be a lot longer, so we want to get to this book. So we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. It's Ronnie Groom from C&G Sporting Goods. First, let's look at our fishing game times for today, brought to us by Mark Coward of Edgewater Beach Realty. His number is 832-6000. Give Mark a call at this morning's time, 4:21 to 6:21. So you better get out there real fast. You're going to get this one. But this afternoon, 4:47 to 6:47. Be an excellent time to get outdoors at those times. Watch out for got about 30% chance of rain, but watch out for those afternoon thunderstorms. All right, we've got a book right here. I'm going to put it right here on the stand. And a brand new book just coming out. Ronnie brought one this morning, and it's unique to this area. And I've heard about the book, hadn't seen it yet. It's when I first seen it this morning, and I just tickled with it. It's called Shooter Giggers. It's diving and spearfishing in the Florida Panhandle in the 1950s. And that young man on the far right, who is that guy?
That's Bradley Pitts, my good friend, diving buddy Bradley Pitts.
Okay, and yourself?
Yep.
Okay, Ronnie's in the loose swim trunks right there. That was the style back then. tell us what's unique about this picture right here, or just on the front.
Well, I was telling you a while ago, we brought this fish in, and we hung them from this big oak tree in my front yard. And that tree finally died, and my daddy swears it's because we hung all these fish in it. But we hung that fish up there, and I was cleaning him. And the back side of that fish, you can't tell it unless you look at my fingers. You'll see they're kind of bloody. I had already filleted the whole back side off of that fish. And Bradley said, we need to get some pictures, so we did.
Well, I am looking forward to reading this. It's got Ronnie Groom, Brad Pitts, Edwin Peters, Burt Gwaltney. You had a group of guys, and I knew the story when
Yeah.
I've known the story a long time, but now we have it in book, and just you see all kind of pictures and all. So each guy like did a chapter, and Corinda Pitts,
Yeah, that's Bradley's sister.
Bradley's sister, Corinda, a good writer, excellent writer.
Yeah.
She put it together, and the two of them did it. So this is going to be something, and you got them down to your store.
We got them down at the store, and they're around different places.
Yeah, different places.
You know, the name shooter giggers, when we started spearfishing, there was no such word as spearfishing that we knew.
Mm-hmm.
We called it shooter gigging.
Shooter gigging.
So we organized a group, and a group of us that have been together for many, many years, that have fished, dived, and fished, and been good friends. We organized a little group, and we meet, and we have dinner together and talk about our old trips and show pictures, and just a bunch of good guys that spent all their time on the water. I don't know how many hours we got underwater.
You brought up a good point. I mean, you could imagine in those days all the fish down there, but you brought up such a great point, Ronnie, and this is before we had laws and regulations as to how many or the size and all that. But tell us what y'all did.
Well, we were very conservative. We didn't shoot fish we didn't need, and with everything that we shot, we utilized. Now, we sold a few fish back in those days because we had expenses and we were young boys with no money, so we would sell a few fish down at Holmes Fish Market down on 6th Street.
Yeah.
I think I've mentioned to you one time before, we got $0.05 a pound for the Warsaw and Jewfish, and we got 30 cents a pound for flounders and snapper, something like that. But like I said then, a tank of gas only cost $5. 6 gallons of gas and oil was $5, so that was a pretty good deal.
Did y'all knew exactly where you were going to go diving, or did y'all just you had some structure? You had the towers and all, and just some structure.
To start out with, we started out in the bay around the buoys and so forth. Went to the jetties. Spearfishing was legal at the jetties for many, many years, and then we began to find wrecks offshore, the old Simpson and the old Pass, and the barge off of Long Beach, and then we found the tarpon, after a lot of looking and finding.
That was an interesting story, just finding the tarpon.
Oh, the tarpon was that was the ultimate just about in those days, to dive on the tarpon. And so we had some spots, and then they built the offshore towers, which were very good places to dive, inshore and offshore. I know in February we'd go 12 miles out in the deep tower and shoot big Warsaw grouper.
Man.
And it was just an exciting time in our lives, and we learned the hard way how to do it. Nobody taught us, and we were just very lucky.
Wow.
And survived, really.
And it's all chronicled in this, and I just, one of the first pictures that caught my eye, and you can see right, you don't have to get up close to it, but you can see this picture right here, and it says, Ronnie's boat after the shark attack. So what happened?
We got into a phase of our lives there where we would go out in the old pass and those shallow bars and harpoon sharks, and we would follow these sharks, and they would run from us, and eventually they would slow down and we would harpoon them. And I harpooned one, and he got off, and we got rigged up and went after him again, and he got under the boat, and then he came upside the boat and started biting on the side of the boat, fiberglass boat. I pulled 57 teeth out of the side of that boat.
Wow. And
then we had one that chased the boat. We ran over him, and then when he got behind us, he chased us. But when he hit that spinning propeller on that 70-horse motor, he gave up.
It's amazing what sharks will do. I mean, they will attack you. They will attack you. It showed right here. Did y'all I know y'all had some the big grouper and all, and it's just some huge grouper. In fact, how much does this one weigh right here on the cover?
I don't remember. I think 300-something pounds.
Yeah.
The biggest one we got, I think, was around 500.
I get a kick out of this picture here. Is again Ronnie standing in front, but the first thing I noticed in the background, old Cartercraft boat.
Cartercraft boat. That boat belonged to Ronnie Pitts. We borrowed it that day, and Ronnie's real particular with his stuff. And Bradley and I are not very particular, so we had to be very careful with his boat.
Charlie Lahan, he
Yep.
was one
Charlie
of
was one of our big diving
Yeah.
buddies, and a great friend, and had a lot of good days out there with Charlie.
Jim Boss, Buddy Boss,
Yep,
Uh,
yep,
Jerry Sewell.
yep. There was about 10 or 12 of us, and
Yeah.
we were together from high school right on till today.
Yeah, that's
And,
cool.
It's
It's
just
funny, the outdoors just sort of bonded all
That's
together,
right.
and it still does that.
I mean, we're just not just friends, good friends.
Yeah.
Just people you can depend on kind of friends.
What about your equipment and all that? Well, I know it had been in early years to get to. What about just compressed
Pretty
air?
crude to start with.
What about compressed air? I mean,
Yeah.
people take for granted now, but we didn't have any
Yeah,
air then.
no, we the first tanks had to be filled either in Dothan or Mobile or somewhere, so that meant if you had one tank and 4 divers, you're going to have to share that thing. It was really important to be careful with it and to share your time together. And, like my mother made the harnesses for our diving tanks, so very crude compared to this elaborate stuff we had today.
Oh, she made those, huh?
She made them. She made our bathing suits. Those trunks, had
Yeah.
a little knife sheath in the side
Yeah.
to carry your diving
Wow.
knife. And we had in our guns, the type fish we were shooting in were pretty large, a lot of them. And you couldn't buy a gun back then that would take care of that. So we had to build our guns. On the cover, you'll see that old big gun there that I built. It's a big old spear
Yeah.
gun, but it was adequate for fish weigh 200, 300, 400 pounds.
Yeah.
It's just a big old gun, and we made smaller guns too. But a lot of the big ones, the most popular gun we used was a Hawaiian sling. You just pull it back and let it go.
There you go. Yeah.
And,
Yeah, you can see that gun right there.
Yeah, you can see that spear gun. It's pretty good size.
All right, and the name of the book is Shooter Giggers.
Shooter Giggers.
Shooter Giggers. Yeah, look at the handle there. Good.
Yeah. I don't know why I made it look like a rifle.
Easy to do. Well, Ronnie, thank you so much as always.
Thank you, buddy.
A lot of good stuff. And folks, y'all run by C&G and look at that book and pick one up, pick a copy. Got to get out of here. Thank y'all for watching Panhandle Outdoors. You have a great day. Do something good for someone else, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.